Oh, so this is my second attempt at doing a review of the Battlefield 1 single player. First time I did this, it turned into a 12-minute rant, so I decided to redo it, because nobody wants to listen to me ranting for 12 minutes. Now you can probably guess from that opening statement that I wasn't overly impressed by the Battlefield 1 single player. As a bit of a backstory to this, I wasn't impressed by the Battlefield 3 single player, I wasn't impressed by the Battlefield 4 single player, and I wasn't impressed by the Battlefield Hardline single player. So Battlefield 1 single player had quite a job to do. Now, it opened in a very interesting way. It showed you the slaughter of World War I. All the characters you play right at the start just die. Then they go into Through Mud and Blood, which is the story of a driver who becomes a tank driver and his trip through a bit of World War I. Unfortunately, his trip through World War I turns into a not very realistic storyline. In fact, in places it's just stupid. It's an hour and a half long, it is quite involved, it does develop the characters, but it's just an odd combination of what is multiplayer gameplay, because as you can see here, I'm getting onto a flag and capturing it exactly as you would in Conquest, and that's combined with cutscenes that do the story. So like all modern single player games, there's no real story within the gameplay. The story is just interposed with cutscenes. That I find really frustrating because we've had story in the gameplay in the past, but for some reason with modern titles, no, we're not allowed story in the gameplay, we're only allowed story in specific little cutscenes. Now, the single player does have some good points. It's really good looking, but then the multiplayer is really good looking, so that's not really surprising. The gunplay and mechanics are pretty sound, which is the same as the multiplayer. In fact, there's very little difference between the single player and the multiplayer, other than when it comes to vehicles, the single player has been dumbed down quite a bit. Flying is basically just like an arcade shooter, and the game is full of glitches that don't appear in the multiplayer, because they're single player elements. Here you can see I tried to land the pigeon at the place I'm supposed to land the pigeon, but the pigeon wouldn't land. So I'm circling around trying to get back to where I'm supposed to be, but I'm about to go out of bounds in a single player game. Yeah, basically you get the same message you'd get in multiplayer for going out of bounds, but this is single player. There's also a big problem with the characters not always being where they think they are. So here you can see an enemy who is just floating in the air. I can't kill him, I can't shoot him, I can't melee him, because he's not actually there. Where he is here by this gun, which is why this gun is still firing. But I can't kill him here either. Eventually, the character runs away from the gun and appears across the other side of the map. So if you get close to the characters on the guns, they will eventually run off the gun and try and shoot you. But this one just runs off in a random direction to go to another gun. And here we're going to see another example of the AI not being very smart. Now on this mission I have to kill some little tanks that are coming after our big tank. So I'm using the tank gewehr to take out this last tank because that's the only one that's on the map. But the mission doesn't progress, and I then have to spend quite a while running around the map, and I've sped it up here so you don't have to watch it all, trying to find if there are any characters on the map, trying to see if maybe I have to destroy all these guns, although I've never had to do that in the previous ones, to try and get the map to carry on, to get this mission to progress. I even go back and try repairing our tank to make sure that that's not the problem, that it can't move because it's damaged. And after a while of running around, I eventually find that one of the enemy tanks hasn't even made it onto the map. It's stuck in an out of bounds area just over this hill. There it is, and it's still trying to drive forward. It isn't trying to go back, it isn't trying to maneuver, it's just stuck there. Now I'd run past it 3 or 4 times, but because it was out of bounds I don't think it would shoot at me. So I only found it basically by going, oh, there's a tank there, after about 5 or 10 minutes of running around trying to get this mission to end. So I blow up the tank with my tank there, and eventually the mission starts to continue onwards. But until I found that tank, I couldn't actually complete the mission. And it's happened a few times in the game that the AI will have characters just standing still because they've got stuck. Sometimes they're indestructible when they're stuck. Sometimes they won't move until you interact with them by shooting them. Then all of a sudden they'll come to life. It's just not very good. Yes, it's basically they've put AI characters into what seems to be the multiplayer, and the AI on these characters is really bad, which is surprising from the Frostbite engine, which can maintain AI for an entire football team, but doesn't seem to be able to maintain AI for soldiers. And all of those problems happened within the first hour of the gameplay. Now, this first section lasts about an hour and a half, and it is the most detailed part of the game. The rest of the single player game feels a bit rushed, and the storylines are condensed and the characters aren't really developed. If the rest of the game was as long and as involved as this first section, then maybe you could forgive it for its glitchy problems. Now, that's not to say that the story in this first section is perfect. I've been driving around in the tank. I can repair it from inside by pressing X, just like you do in multiplayer. But at one point in the story, somebody gets out to repair the tank because otherwise he couldn't get killed. Then later, after another member of your crew has deserted, the leader makes you get out of the tank and walk in front of it and kill all the enemies in front of the tank so that the tank doesn't get damaged. And at that point I was thinking, I wish I'd run off and deserted with the other bloke. Now, this isn't just a problem of Battlefield 1 single player. We've all played single player games where the game mechanics just conveniently get forgotten so that you have to progress through the single player in the way they want you to. There's no correlation between the gameplay and the story because the story's in cutscenes and the gameplay is essentially just the multiplayer. So this really doesn't feel like a wholly combined experience. There's a bunch of cutscenes telling a story, and then there's some multiplayer elements with bots in. And it's the combination of this story disconnect with the problems of glitches that just makes it not a very fulfilling experience. In my opinion, they'd be better just dropping this single player experience, and they could have done a similar thing with the Operations game mode, because that tells you a detailed story of World War I. You and your teammates are working towards objectives that are based on real world battles and real world occasions, not playing fake characters in fake settings with not very realistic storylines. Yes, I realise this hasn't turned out any more positive than my first go at it, but at least it's shorter. Thanks for watching.